Legacy automakers have largely been silent over the past 5 or so years when it comes to EVs. They maybe have a token model or two with some batteries slung underneath or slung in the boot of one of their petrol versions. This has allowed startups in China, such as NIO and Geely and Xpeng, to really come in and dominate. This car is one you've probably not heard of before, and it was the best-selling EV in China in 2019. So it begs the question, have legacy automakers already lost the EV battle? This is the WELTMEISTER EX5-Z, and this is fully charged. The WELTMEISTER, you might be asking? Yes, this is a company with German car aspirations and was started in 2015, and they've already got 2 models. This is actually a refresh of their first model. And this was the best-selling EV in 2019 in China. So this has sold a lot of cars over the past couple of years. Here in the interior, it's not as clean or minimal as some of its competitors. However, it's a very nice place to be, and there's a good quality of fit and finish in here. So this is all leather along here. I've got these metal grills up here for speakers. I've got a lot of speakers around here, down here, all over. However, it does have one very annoying feature, which is non-tactile buttons, which aren't even on the screen. So down here, I've got about 5 or 6 buttons, and you've really got to mash them with your finger to turn them on or off. Now, everything else in here is fine, really. I've got this screen which swivels around if I press the button, and I've also got facial recognition, so when I get in, it adjusts to my settings that I have for myself. Down here I do have some nice tactile buttons. I've got a simple knob for going reverse, neutral and drive, and then I've got a really nice spinny thing here for putting it into drive mode, and that's like a metallic finish, which is very nice. Lots of storage space for your drinks, charging ports as well. Overall, not a bad place to be. I'm a little bit spoilt in here actually, because I have lots of features just for me. So I've got a couple of speakers down here. I've got a USB port in here. I've got a USB port down there. I've got my own air conditioning here as well. Obviously I've got this here with a handy cup holder, but it's comfortable enough for a long journey. Now, the floor down here is flat, which really helps with access, and if you're taking stuff from the dump or something. And this is in a car which costs $28,000 after subsidies new. And under the floor here is a 69 kilowatt hour battery. So in terms of features, I've got it all. I've got everything I could want, and I've got some level of luxury and sophistication. So just very quickly talking about the modes, the Eco, the Sport and the Custom. Custom is set to what you're used to driving, and it will adjust to your driving style. I'm not going to use that, but Eco is your Eco mode, gives you the most amount of range. So this is the 520 kilometer car and NEDC. And the Sports mode is very rapid actually, given that this is a large car. It's actually really quick. It's also very quick in draining your battery, so use it sparingly. WELTMEISTER actually don't have their own charging network like some of its rivals Xpeng and NIO. And instead what they've done is signed agreements with, I think, about 200 providers, one of which is the State Grid, major power provider here in China. And what that allows for is a huge charging network that users can use anywhere. For example, this one here. Now, to charge, the AC charger is at the back, so we just take our lead, come around the back here, and it's just here, nice and simple. Plug it in, and that's it, it's done. The fast charger is on the front of the car, and it actually has quite a neat feature in that the bars on the front of the logo light up, and they light up for the showing how much battery you have left remaining. I think that's quite a cool feature. One thing I can't quite get over is the design. So they've gone for quite a plain looking car, and it's a little bit generic looking, maybe to counteract its German competitors. However, I do like it's got these quite flat profiled sides, it's got the door handles which are flush with the body, and it's got these flat alloys here. Now, this isn't going to win any beauty competitions, but on the road it has presence. It's quite large. It sits in between both the Xpeng and the Xpeng and Neo in terms of size, and it does have quite a nice presence on the road and a good feeling when you're driving. So in the WELTMEISTER we are treated to quite a large boot space, and let's have a quick look if we open it. Now I can actually open this with my voice activation from the front, which is very easy, open and close, it's all electric. And also, whilst we're at the back here, I've also got sensors and a camera on the back. So this car has 12 sensors around it, and it's got a couple of cameras, one on the front and one on the rear. Now, as you might or might not be able to tell, it's just started to rain. So let's take this somewhere a lot more interesting on some twisty mountain roads. I've been driving this car for a couple of days now, and I've driven it on the highway and on the mountain roads. And this is a very stiff chassis, you know, you've got the battery in the bottom, skateboard chassis. But for a very heavy car, it's over 1,500 kilos, you know, it actually grips the road quite well, especially in the corners. It doesn't roll too much, like some of the other large cars. Now, this is a big car, and don't get me wrong, this is bigger than the Xpeng, and this is smaller than the Neo, so it fits in the middle of its two rivals. However, it is a bit awkward driving in the city, which is why it's got all the cameras on the outside to help you reverse, and lots of bonging to give you warnings of when you're close to things. So, you know, although the bonging is quite irritating for me, it's actually really useful, because in a tight driving situation like Shanghai, you know, this is perfect. Country roads like this, no problem. So what do I think of WELTMEISTER? Well, what these guys have done in 2 years is incredible. Now, although they don't quite have the same levels of refinement or sophistication as some of the German rivals at the moment, they are easily on the track to overtake them within the next 2 or 3 years. If you look at how fast these guys have grown, it's only a matter of time. And if I was a legacy automaker, I would be worried, because if these guys can do this in a couple of years, it makes you beg the question, what are they doing? You know, BMW have brought out another 3 Series. VW brought out another Golf. It's like, guys, come on. These guys have built a whole brand which is electric, and which is running, and which is decent, and for a good price, and they've brought this to market already. Legacy automakers, watch out. So that's all we've got time for. If you liked this episode, subscribe below, sign up to our Patreon and help support the channel. There's also YouTube memberships, also the link below. And if you have been, thank you for watching.